Even before you knew
who Kimberly H was.
Even before, exactly. Even before you knew you were a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I would sit in the salon and listen to my sister just talk about you in a great way.
Thank
as
you.
A little girl.
Yeah.
As a little girl.
Yeah.
Kimberly H. So when I met you, I'm like, that's Kimberly H.
I know, and I was like, what is she talking about? That was so
like
funny to me.
Beyonce.
I was like, you know what? The hairdressers that have gone before me, I'm very much like that. Like if I meet Prince, I'd be like, oh wow, that's cool. But did you see Olive Benson?
No,
stylist. Oh my God, girl! And then she said,
"That's how I was."
I completely get it.
Oh my God, she's over the cosmetology board. Oh, I want to do whatever she said.
That's so funny. That is so.
In
a great way. I get that. I get that. And thank you for acknowledging history like that. And I think that we need to remember where our history comes from and those who went before us and how the ground was made fertile.
Definitely.
By people
ahead of us.
Or behind us.
Behind us. Yeah. However you want to look at it. For you laid the foundation for myself. Yeah. And I know it was other cosmetologists that laid the foundation for
me.
You.
Absolutely. Franklin Beauty Schools. And actually it's interesting because Tina Knowles is the reason that I got to go to Franklin.
Wow, how did that become about?
I've known Tina is actually part of my family.
Okay.
So what that looks like is my uncle married her niece.
Wow. Okay.
Right? But her niece is like 17 years older than Tina.
Okay.
Right? So Tina was the baby of the family.
I see.
So her and Johnny, when you hear Johnny. So when I would go to Galveston, that's where my family is from. That's where the Beyoncés are from, or the Rittenhouses.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
History that I didn't know.
Yeah, Galveston, Texas. And so our families are there. So I would go always with my aunt because I have a little cousin, Ronald. And my aunt had two little sisters that were my age.
Okay.
That she was like 20-something years older than.
Okay.
Right? And Tina and Johnny were in charge of all the kids.
Because they were a little older.
Because they were 16.
Yeah. You got to take care of the little ones.
So you take care of the little ones. So, Tina's mom was a seamstress. My aunt's mother was a seamstress. I mean, just a house full of people who can sew and design and do all of that. So the Survivor video. The Survivor video, when I saw it, I started crying and I called Denise, my aunt's sister or Tina's niece, and said, oh my God, do you see those outfits? Those are the outfits that, so she would go and get remnants from Woolworth. So her mother would send her.
I remember Woolworth.
Right. So Woolworth, and they had a fabric place, right? She would, like her mother would say, well, y'all go and get this, and I got to go to the fabric store and get this. And then we would buy, she and Johnny would buy a quarter's worth of remnants and tie it up and make us little outfits.
And make it happen.
Make it happen. And we go to the beach and we be walking on the seawall.
And looking real cute.
Looking real cute with our little matching outfits. And I remember having camo material
from Survivor, so it all
it all came full circle. Girl, that was hilarious. But so how it gets to Franklin Beauty School, so of course at 15, 16 years old, I don't want to go to Galveston anymore. That's for little kids. You don't do the same thing. But Tina had moved. She had gone to California and gone to wherever she had gone. And then so I had kind of lost contact with her. Heard she got married. Tina got married, yada, yada, yada. So in the 11th grade, my mother said, well, next year when we're looking at this, you're going to get out of school at 11 o'clock. You need something to do. So why don't we put you in beauty school?
So that's how you ended up in beauty school in 11th grade?
In the 11th grade.
Okay.
Right? So we're going over to Franklin Beauty School because it was too late for me to get into the cosmetology program at Yates.
I see.
right? Because you would have had to start it in the 10th grade.
Correct.
So we get there, and she's looking around with all of the adults and some of the people, and she was looking like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. But there was a guy sitting across from us. We didn't know the guy, and but then Tina comes walking out of the back, and it's Matthew.
Okay.
He's waiting on his wife. Well, I had never met Matthew.
And so you didn't know that was her husband?
I didn't know that was her husband because I hadn't really seen her. I'd seen her a couple of times at Linda's, but Matthew wasn't there.
I see.
And so
it didn't link together.
It just didn't link together. So, okay. And he was just sitting there minding his own business. And he was, I'm here to see my wife, Tina. Oh, okay. That don't mean nothing to me.
Who is that?
Yeah, who is that? And so she assured my mother that I would be okay.
Wow.
And so, like, during the summer, she'd pick me up and go. But when she got pregnant with Solange, Beyonce was already here. When she got pregnant with Solange, she stopped beauty school for, like, almost 2 years. So I graduated ahead of her.
I see.
Right? I graduated ahead of her, started working at Hair Station, and, then moved on or whatever. And then started seeing them when they started to open up their salon. Right, Matthew. They came. Right, they came and got me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a wonderful story of history.
Yeah.
That I know myself had no idea. Yeah. And it just goes to show how, like you say, everything comes full circle.
Everything comes full circle.
In time.
Nothing is an accident.
Nothing
is an accident. And it's not an accident that you came around.
Exactly. That's why I'm like,
right?
It's so, the works of God
it's
are
the work
amazing. It always keeps me in awe, but listening to this right here is like.
And so, you know what, it's interesting because where did you grow up? What part of town?
In Georgia, Savannah,
so
Georgia.
I hear it's beautiful.
Oh my God, it's a whole different level of beautiful. Because it's a natural beautiful.
I love that.
Yes, there's trees everywhere, moss everywhere.
One of the members of Citywide, Rosalind, is there right now.
Oh, I gotta call her.
And she said, Kim,
it's peaceful.
You might want to move to
You might want to move in. And that's what it's for. For anybody who just want to they call it slow manner.
I love that.
Slow manner. You can live life very slow in Savannah.
I love that.
So Houston is real fast paced for me. It's fancy. I like to get dressed up and play here, but in Savannah, no, it's family. It's a lot of family. It's a lot of eating, a lot of family.
Yeah.
New Orleans reminds me of Savannah.
Yeah, because they are very family oriented.
Very family orientated, and that's what Savannah is. Savannah in a nutshell.
I think I'd love that.
Oh, I
can't wait to go visit. I think I'm going to have to do that for my birthday. So I'm turning 60. Yes. So let me give you some history about Kim H. Kim H is camera ready.
Okay. Yes, I would love to hear this.
Yeah, exactly. So the Kim H is camera ready. People always remark to me how, you always look
camera ready.
Camera ready, right?
Okay.
And so I get that, but I came from the ilk. Like the first salon that I worked in, those women, so that was Hair Station.
Okay.
And Barbara Marshall and Rhonda Hicks and Tommy Hicks, they were amazing. So what people didn't know about, Brandy, the blonde specialist.
Yes, I've heard of it. I don't know her personally.
You don't know her personally. Brandy Shanae.
I stalk her page and look at all of her work because it is remarkable.
Yes, it is remarkable. And so she is relative. She's in that family.
Okay.
Right? So that's legacy. Her grandmother was Jonee, which was a big deal. And so if I have it correctly, Barbara Marshall, I think, was married to maybe Jonee's brother.
Okay.
Or they were married to, kind of in that same family. And so Jonee had 5 kids. All of them worked in the hair salon.
All of them. Wow.
All of them. Samira, Tyrone.
Are they all still working in the industry?
Tyrone is, let's see, 3 of them are.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I think Samara doesn't do hair. I think she retired. And then one of the youngest doesn't anymore. Yeah, he doesn't anymore. But he did for 15, 20 years. Yeah, and they were very good.
Very.
Right.
I can tell by the look on your eye.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So can you imagine me going into there, because I worked for Paul Mitchell. I've worked for Joyco. I worked for Goldwell. And
you work with all the top names.
Yeah. And especially we're talking about late 80s.
Wow.
And 90s.
Very impressive, because by the time I came along in the late 90s, they were still the name,
those names, right. And so I was excited to work for Barbara, because Barbara Marshall was part of Inner Coiffure, which if you don't know, is an international fraternity sorority for hair.
Did not know that.
So that's Frederick Fekkai, Vidal Sassoon, Oribe. That's world class level
industries.
To be in a salon with somebody who cuts in this way and does some of the things that she was doing, and doing it on African American hair. So in Inner Coiffure, and I don't know what it is now, but for it's 2 years to even get into it.
Wow.
And if 8 people vote against you, then you have to start over.
Wow.
So you're on an international council. So Anne Bray, those people, just the hair artistry at a whole different level. Yeah.
Is it still around a big today?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, Inner Coiffure. Yeah,
okay.
It's. They used to publish. You remember Black Passion magazine?
Yes.
Black Passion magazine is a derivative of that.
Okay, I remember looking at that magazine.
And so Vidal Sassoon was in Inner Coiffure. All of these people were in Graham Webb. All of these people were in Inner Coiffure, and she was actually trained through Vidal Sassoon and with Vidal Sassoon.
Okay, so
that's a big deal.
I know. I'm like, you done took me from here to there.
And these are all of the points in life, and how. So sometimes you'll hear me say, my floor is other people's ceiling.
Yes, I've heard you say that.
Because if you put yourself in a situation where you're around the best in any situation, then your thought processes change. You elevate.
You start elevating.
It's just different.
It just is.
It's just different, and it's not all of the danglies or whatever. It is actually the work. My first week at Hair Station, this was the strangest thing. So they did 21 people a day, each stylist. And so we had maybe 4